Good morning, patrons. It is Monday, August 23rd, and here is your Cup of Jones. Good morning, everybody. It's a crazy week. There's a lot of things. Blood is just mentioning, some things are bumping different people into different time slots. We have reactions going on this week. We got lots of fun streams. Let's get into all of it. We have 2 review embargoes this morning. We had 2 reviews cut and ready to go at the same embargo, which Blood commented, I don't recall the last time that happened. Psychonauts 2 and Hoa, 2 very different opinions about games in general. One's very positive. One didn't end up meeting expectations, but those dropped this morning from Ben and Bloodworth, respectively. Ben writing Psychonauts 2 and Blood working on Hoa. Blood also worked on Axiom Verge 2, which came out 4 days ago, and he worked on Cris Tales. So there are 4 reviews. Of the last 4 reviews that went up on youtube.com/EasyAllies, 3 of those were Daniel Bloodworth. So shout out to Blood for finishing all of that stuff. Brad talked to Huber about the Ghost of Tsushima expansion, which I have yet to check out, but our impressions are up of that. And so lots of fun editorial content and a ton of editorial content on the way. It gets a little confusing right now, juggling appointments versus embargoes. So you see like 2 different dates on the calendar, and it's like, wait, that's when the thing is happening, but then we're talking about it on that day, and then the embargo's on that day. A couple of quick, scary turnarounds this week in terms of going to an event, and then like, embargo's a couple hours later. So we will be getting that stuff to you as soon as possible. Got some fun reviews that we've been working on. So lots of continued fun editorial joy coming to the Easy Allies YouTube channel in August. Easy Chillin' has been announced. There's no one name all of us would be totally on board with, and so I think that's why we settled with Easy Chillin', because it's hard to, how do you get angry? How do you get uptight? But Easy Chillin'. Easy Chillin' will be September 3rd and 4th and 5th. It is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The hours will not be contiguous. We will be taking breaks. Each day will be from noon to midnight Pacific time. So starting at noon Pacific, ending at midnight. All of the allies will be there at the start. All of the allies will be there at the end. Save for any unforeseen circumstances that now happen between now and then. In between, there will be a different cast of allies depending on what's going on and what we are playing. We will announce what games we're playing. I mean, Here Comes the Pain, Mario Golf. There's stuff that, is definitely going to be on that list. But some fun suggestions from the crew, some fun oldies everything was considered. Nightmare Before Christmas did make the list, but we were like, we got the PS2 game. Maybe we'll play that this fall. But that should be a fun list. We just want to save that until closer to the event because stuff might get announced. Stuff might come out. Stuff might get shadow dropped. Stuff might get delayed. We might have to change that list, and we want to keep shuffling that around in front of y'all's and have y'all's be confused and set your expectations in places where they are not met. So that will go up ASAP, probably the beginning of September. The 9th of September, I believe, is the next showcase, which Daniel Bloodworth will be on. That post should be going up this week. Just want to let everybody know, I think I mentioned it while we were streaming, but I'll mention it here on Cup of Jones. No full playthroughs planned for Easy Chillin', which I know is a departure from Easy Livin'. Easy Livin', we always started with the full playthrough because we knew we were going to finish it. We knew we were on board for to play something for that amount of time. And maybe we could pick something that's just a couple hours long. But again, like, you want to see 30 hours of us playing stuff we're really, really excited about playing. And there was just nothing in the full playthrough department that necessarily rose to the surface that would make sense on that first day. We didn't want to fill up Friday with like just a game, and we wouldn't want to do a full playthrough and then have people leave, say it's like an 8-hour game or a 10-hour game. And some people are like, I don't want to be there all day. So it didn't, Easy Livin' and Easy Chillin' are 2 different things. Not 100% sure what the entire Chillin' vibe is going to be like. We'll see what it's like doing this extended marathon stream in the studio. Hopefully we will be chill. It will be nice. I'll tell you, what we miss in beach house vibes, we make up for in not having to set up anything. Just going in and plugging in the consoles and playing games and hanging out with each other. So hopefully that would be a little more chillin' than the living aspect of Easy Livin'. But I know full playthroughs are something people generally get excited about. So don't want that to be a surprise when the schedule goes up. There will be, we may play the vast majority of content in one game during some of the hours of Easy Chillin', but cool. Jones, if you want to continue Alice's saga, I posted chapter 2 on my YouTube channel for a long showcase post. You know who enjoyed chapter 1, Jesse, was Milo. So Milo will definitely check out chapter 2. This week's group stream tomorrow night is from home because we are playing Aliens Fireteam Elite. There will be some home streams coming up. New World, hopefully. New World, when are you coming out? New World is hopefully coming out next month at some point. And so we'll be doing that group stream from home as well. But we'll be playing Aliens from home and excited about sharing that game with everybody. Xbox Gamescom reactions are tomorrow. I will be out on assignment working on a totally different project that you will hear about soon. So I will not be there for the Xbox event, which is a bummer because they might do some cool stuff. I'm seeing some PR people winking, nudging about tuning in and some fun things that they have planned. And then opening night live is Wednesday morning, which is when I would generally have Mass Effect scheduled. So I will either do Mass Effect at another time, and there will be a 3 weeks. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the lack of Mass Effect, in my life right now. And I don't like it. I'm happy that there's all these news. I'm happy that there's all these events. But I don't like it. And I'm sorry that I haven't filled it in. There have been a couple late nights that I maybe could have done it, but I've been consistently a morning stream. And I have a 2-year-old. So I'm just a little tired. In the morning, I don't feel like getting up. Cup of Jones is the exception, he says, as he takes a sip of coffee. With a cup that says, this is the cup of Brandon. Cup of Jones. Cup of Brandon. Brandon Jones. Sorry. My cup says Brandon on it. And yes, I have one that says Amanda as well. Same cup. Not planning on reacting to Bungie's event, which I guess is before Xbox. Bungie is revealing more details about the Witch Queen. Which the Witch Queen's like, has the Witch Queen been in Destiny 2 before? I don't know. And somebody said it was a Bungie event when they tweeted it at me or brought it up on social media, but didn't say it was specifically a Destiny thing. So I don't know if Bungie's like doing anything else. There's like a Destiny card game coming or something. Our Q&A, our patron Q&A is on Thursday of this week as well. And there we go. Witch Queen? Witch Queen? It's a good one, Bled. It's good. Business questions. Oh, wait, no, the schedule. Da-da-da. No More Heroes 3 today. Nice little special preview of that game. Thank you, Ben Moore. Huber will continue Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And then we have our reactions. Tuesday morning, the Xbox Gamescom showcase. Wednesday night, Gamescom opening night live. How's it the opening night live if Xbox is premiering stuff before then? Keeley. Stream team, which I believe is Isla and Dawn this week. And they're just going to be figuring out... I'll do you one better. Why is the queen? Aliens Fireteam Elite is our group stream tomorrow night. Syndrome's happening this week, Mike and Mike. They finished the Ascent, so we don't specifically have a game that they are going to play. They will lock that down. Fast and Loose is happening. Psychonauts, if you were curious before you jump into Psychonauts 2, you can continue Daniel Bloodworth's playthrough at Thursday at 11. Our Q&A is Thursday at 3. And then the Podcast Easy Update. And Brad continuing Skyward Sword. A nice long... There's your full playthrough that you can enjoy, along with myself playing Mass Effect whenever I get back to it. But lots of good reactions. And again, what we cannot put on our schedule, which you will be enjoying this week and next, is some more fun editorial content from us. We have some fun stuff coming that we are working on that we hope you will enjoy. I hope you will enjoy these business questions. I don't know if they finished the Ascent. It just said Mike and Mike on there, so I'm assuming that they did. Sorry. That was an assumption on my part. No, phone, go away. My phone might be making noise for my editorial today. Business questions. I didn't say what my editorial is going to be. Maybe I'll keep it a secret. Secret editorial, everybody. I hope you enjoy the answers to these business questions. I didn't write these business questions, so I'm not responsible for their quality. Will you guys be reacting to the Xbox Gamescom stream on the 24th or the Gamescom opening night on the 25th? Both. Bradley Spees, follow up to the Hall of Greats talk. Lots of Hall of Greats comments. I'm going to get through them at the top. So let's get through all the Hall of Greats stuff, including a page and a half. Now, almost like a full page. 10-point font, full page from Son of Sparta. But back to Bradley Spees. What matters is fun. Is it fun for you to do it? Is it fun for us to watch? I hope you use that as the lens for considering any rule changes. We use that as the lens for almost everything. Note, I'm not asking for rule changes. I think Hall of Greats is fun now, and you're all good at self-balancing with how you tend to vote. Example, you mentioned considering softening the ban rule. I don't care too much. The bans themselves aren't that important, but do consider the effect of the ban rule as it is now. All of a sudden, we're all really invested if certain games even get one measly little vote. The tension is palpable as those last few allies do their confession cams. That's really valuable, in my opinion. Anything that adds extra stakes to otherwise inconsequential votes would make it more fun. This doesn't have to mean the ban rule stays. You could add a Mr. Irrelevant award to the least votes or other some kind of supplementary quote-unquote honor, dubious or real, based on the bottom of the list. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be too mean-spirited, but you get the idea. If from time to time the top of the list seems obvious, then any rules in place that add drama or intrigue to the bottom of the list are still really valuable. Good note. And you can see all the notes from last week were well too. Last week's editorial was one of those where I'm driving around and I'm like, I was a little mean in that editorial was, and I apologize. To anybody who really wanted Hall of Greats to be a certain way or believes a greatness that Hall of Greats is not maintaining and wanted to leave a comment last week and felt that I shot you down, I apologize. Obviously, I wouldn't want it to be blah, blah, blah. If from time to time the top of it, yes. And you can see how this concept could apply to other aspects of presentations and votes. There's more at stake than who, quote-unquote, wins Hall of Greats, and arguably that's the part I care about the least. So anytime you consider rule changes, I hope you don't focus too narrowly on how it will influence who can or will win. Brandon K. Gann. Inspired by your editorial last week regarding taking so much feedback, no such thing as too much feedback, for Hall of Greats, I'll read them all. I'll read all questions. If the questions are viable for a cup of Jones, I'm reading them. And you got to hang around. That's the way it is. We're both stuck here. I want to leave feedback too. While I have no problem with keeping up which games get the 3-2-1 vote secret until all votes and cast and winners are revealed, could the allies let us know after the announced nominees which games each ally gave their 3-2 and 1 votes? We sort of do, but we're not organized in that way. Yeah, that information does come out, but it's all voluntary. This helps with record keeping for not just the most recent ceremony, but for every Hall of Greats in perpetuity. Cue the Ben emote. Writing down all the info. Good point, good point. Alex Dyke, I don't know if anyone else suggested this, but my number one want for Hall of Greats would be to make the allies remember the greats. Add stakes again. Every time when people talk about steaks, I get hungry. Steaks. Yeah, I think about A1 sauce, I think about those special knives, the sharper knives that we have in a separate drawer. Oh, we're having steak tonight. Let me get these knives out. If a game wins, make each other feel it a little. If it's on hand, available to play still. Make everyone play the great either the following week for a stream or a new take on retrospectives, wherein the allies collectively work their way through the hall, each playing as much or little as they want, and having a mockumentary-style talking heads over some gameplay for a short video. This way, each ally has to at least move the character around in a game or at least feel the startup in music. Gaming isn't the same unless you can really smell the manual, Just my 2 cents. Love and respect, and honestly, I still love the show as is, so say la vie. Yeah, any kind of... We've talked about this in the past, and people have suggested it, like post-feature creation or stream Hall of Greats is just a tough thing to commit to, because we're like, yeah, we'll do it in a week. Well, next week we're doing that thing. Well, we'll do it in a month, and then a month later, it's like, well, it's Gamescom. It's like, it's tough to be like, that's a thing we'll commit to, and we'll do that every time we do Hall of Greats. Hall of Greats could land at a time where it's like, this is just a bad time to do all of these things. And it sucks because we don't want to think that, the community requests are not important. Hall of Greats is not important. These games that we go in and speak so passionately of, we don't want the next week to be like, screw them, once Hall of Greats was a 2-hour stream. It could be more, but maybe we want to see if we can, maybe lock it down as that 2.5. Maybe sometimes 3 hours. Cody Spencer, I know you just did an editorial on HOG, but I was thinking about all the criticisms people have with it, and even though I like Hall of Greats the way it is, I did come up with an idea. Now, I feel some of the criticism stems from viewers. I just like that comment. I want that at work. Announcing a new t-shirt from Easy Allies. Where is it? I like blank the way it is, but I did come up with an idea. Now, I feel some of the criticism stems from viewers wanting the games they love to make it in. So I thought it would be cool if before HOG, you put a poll up on Patreon with all the submitted games for that HOG, but not who is going to argue for which game. Then the patrons vote, and whichever gets the most vote adds 3 votes for that game. Second adds 2 votes. Third vote adds 1 vote. People would complain because different time zones. There would be people that could potentially miss out on this because they're asleep. And so they'd be like, yeah, I would want you to put it up 24 hours beforehand. And then I wonder if 24 hours would be too soon to know about them and would take away the stakes. This way, viewers can feel more involved without it taking away too much from the allies. I realize this takes away a bit of the surprise of seeing which games are brought, but I feel like it could be fun. Might satiate some viewers. It could even be a new tier reward. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Can't wait for someone to bring D&D again. Love and respect, Cody. I can, because I will not bring it, because it's not a video game. It's a game, though. Well, Monopoly's a game. Poker's a game. If you can bring D&D, you can bring poker. Right? And poker's a better game than most games. Poker's a really good game. I'll bring D&D. Just got to draw a line. That's the line. It's like, oh, cool. That's a very easy line. Thanks for finding the line. I'm going to fight the line. I don't know why you do that. We found the line. It's a good line. Son of Sparta with the biggie. Get comfortable. After watching The Last Cup of Jones and hearing all of the suggestions about Hall of Greats, how it could be improved in various ways, and getting yours and the community's perspective on what is and should be Hall of Greats, I thought I'd send some of my suggestions and thoughts about Hall of Greats your way and see how you do feel about them. Fair warning and apologies in advance about how long this comment will be. Before I start, I think I will make it clear that I enjoy Hall of Greats as it is and don't have any problems with it, even the last one. So these suggestions are simply things that I think might improve it a bit, but aren't necessarily essential. Number 1. Increase the presentation time from 5 minutes to 7 minutes. I actually noticed this going back and after watching the very first Hall of Greats. I think along the way, some of the allies, both the actual members, EZA members, and the community, might have forgotten what the original point of having a time limit was. I think it was clear in the early Hall of Greats episodes that the time limit was so that we wouldn't end up in a situation where someone talks about a game for like 10 to 20 minutes. It was supposed to be a cap, an adherence to a structure, not a way of presentations, not a way of testing an ally's ability to present the game in said time limit. I think being a little lenient with the time for presentations would give allies more freedom to have a more complete argument and could lead to better and more interesting presentations. Let's do the math, though. You had 2 minutes to a presentation. Don will certainly take those 2 minutes along with everybody else's 2 minutes. So we're going full on all of those 2 minutes. 8 allies times 2, that's 16. That's at least 16 minutes you're adding to a 2-hour stream. If all of the allies show up, which sometimes they don't. If all the presentations are 7 minutes, which sometimes are not. I can't tell if Don's doing a bit when he goes long or if he just can't help himself. I can't tell. I honestly can't tell. Being on the inside, being in the room with him, hard to tell. Here we go. Sorry. If each ally took these extra 2 minutes, that would be 16 minutes of added stream time in total. So overall, it would make the stream that much longer, says you. I know it's easy to say. Don will always go over time regardless, and that's probably true. But this isn't simply a Don problem. As we've seen in the past, other allies have run out of time before being able to make their case to the fullest. Again, initially, the point behind presentations was to do the game justice and not to test an ally's ability. I mean, I want to create content that tests ally abilities. That's kind of one of our tenets, you know, like you talk about stakes. That's very important to Easy Allies content, is for us to be tested. To describe one of the greats within a strict time limit. Number 2, the option to not vote. Now, I know this is an extreme and significant change, but I think it might make for a more interesting and expressive Hall of Greats. If an ally doesn't feel strongly about the games presented, like Huber in the last episode, then it's better if they aren't forced to vote than to vote for things that they would rather not to. Now, I realize this could lead to situations where theoretically some of the allies don't vote, and then 2 games with fewer votes get in, and then that doesn't seem fair. My solution to that is to introduce a minimum amount of casted votes points needed before the top voted games are allowed into Hall of Greats. Allow me to elaborate, but I get it. Each ally has 6 points to distribute, which means you have 48 points in total. Now, if you allow the option to not vote for games, then the top voted games in that episode are only allowed in Hall of Greats if the total number of points awarded to all games is more than 30 points. So in other words, if the games presented aren't strong enough so that 18 points, the equivalents of 3 allies' total voting power, weren't distributed, then those games shouldn't be allowed into Hall of Greats at that time. Basically, that means no new game will be added to Hall of Greats from that episode if such thing happened. Like I said, I think this will make the Hall of Greats more interesting, and unless it's not interesting, and allies will have more options to. It'll make the episode after the uninteresting episode more interesting. In a situation where some allies are absent, you can change the minimum amount of points required for that episode as you see fit. 3, and lastly, ties should be further discussed and then voted by allies, 8 EZA members, to make it clear during the stream, as opposed to having a poll on Patreon. I know the community might not like this, but to be blunt, we are simply the audience. As you said it yourself during the last Cup of Jones, this is not the EZA plus community Hall of Greats. Imagine if during GOTY discussions you had a tie for a category and then decided to do a poll on Patreon to see what game wins. That wouldn't be. I mean, we could probably bet what would win, but that wouldn't be Easy Allies Game of the Year Game of the Year awards anymore. It'd be Easy Allies plus the Community Award, which would be a different thing entirely. Hall of Greats is like that at the moment. I think it's a bit demoralizing for the person who brought the game, presented it, answered all the questions, and has gotten enough votes to end up in a tie, to have the fate of that game now be completely out of their hands. I definitely feel like the fate of the game is out of my hands whenever I go to Hall of Greats, but I get you. I think if games end up in a tie for the second position, then they should be further discussed for 2 to 3 minutes in total for each game among everyone. And then after that discussion, allies vote between the two by show of hand. Knowing the allies, this would not pass. Allies would be like, let them vote, it's fine. Like just my gut. My gut's telling me this right now. And then the winner gets in as the second game. Anyway, sorry for the long comment. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine with Hall of Greats as it is, and just thought these suggestions might make it more interesting. Again, I want that t-shirt. I'm perfectly fine with blank as it is. I just thought these suggestions might make it more interesting. I think overall, even though presentations definitely matter, it would be good for all of us to keep in mind the Hall of Greats is more about the actual games getting the recognition they deserve than a test for the allies and their presentation skills. And I will say, I don't know if I mentioned this in last week's editorial, but when I look at that Hall of Greats list, like no game gets my blood in a boil. All of those, every time I look at that list, I'm like, yeah, there's some great games. And it's always a messy thing. You know, when we did the top 100 games back at Game Trailers, we came up with that list. Like that list is somewhere. The Game Trailers top 100 games of all time. And I was involved, you know, I did the point allocation and I had the lists and then I updated lists and we sat through all that and argued through all of it. I was happy with the list. I wasn't like, you know, for example, EVE Online was one that I was really I wanted EVE Online to be our 100, and EVE Online got like pushed off. I was like, meh. But because EVE Online, I've never really dug into EVE Online, but EVE Online there's no game like EVE Online, and I think if there's a game out there that's very successful that no game is even remotely like at all, it's a contender. Would EVE Online get into the Hall of Greats? Hell no. It'd be fun to talk about. But if I ever bring EVE Online, know that I'm not planning on actually getting in there. And I think we're done. I think that's it. I think that's the update of Hall of Greats. Where are we? 27 minutes in. We've hopefully gotten through. Those are all really good suggestions. I'm not going to debate any of that. Those are all good suggestions. I'm going to bring them to the team. We'll see what we think. And scene. Alex Pisa. I was looking for the podcast yesterday at the podcast. And I usually do just that, look at it and listen. Not just listen to it like the other people. I was wondering if visual cues can be shown in your video. For example, the TVs behind you guys are great to have a video of what is being talked about. Isla can put a video of Hades, for example, zoom out every so often so people on the table and every so often to the video. I'd love that added. And also because I don't know all the games being talked about, a video played while y'all are talking would be great. We've gotten some comments on that. We got comments because Blood brought, have you heard about X, you know, whatever game he'll bring, and some of those games he'll be describing, and we've gotten some comments on YouTube. People are like, why don't you just show the gameplay? And gameplay can be a bit of a slippery slope in terms of us like showing B-roll for something, and then people are like, when you did that Nintendo Direct, show B-roll for all of those things. And it's like the podcast takes a little bit to edit, and I edit it very late at night, and so I'm not jazzed about putting B-roll all over everything. Using the TVs in the back might seem like a no-brainer, but you have to remember how many plugs we got in there, how many pieces of equipment, how hot it can get in that room, how much is on and warming up and whirring whenever we shoot something. And so that would require a separate switcher and a display monitor and a laptop. But we've talked about getting a separate computer for those back televisions. But think about that. I mean, think about your average human being that wants a computer, that can use a computer, you know, that like is in school or studying or maybe is like abroad or something, and it's just, it'd be wonderful to have a laptop so I can send emails, so I can do my work, at any desk in my small apartment or whatever. Just like the value of a computer and all the amazing things you can do with it. And then think of us buying a computer just for 2 TVs in the back. You know, it's like it's been on the list for a while, but it's just not. It's tough to think of like this laptop that just sits there that we could obviously use for other things when we're not shooting stuff in the studio, but we don't want to like be unplugging and plugging in stuff and moving stuff all over the place any more that we already have to because of the nature of game consoles and controllers and stuff. So it's a purchase that we're always just like, we're thinking about making it, but There is fun stuff. And then you're like, just plug those TVs into the system you already have. And like, we're out of ports. Like we're tapped because there's a lot of monitors you don't see. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the cameras that we need to see what's going on and how we set up the cameras and how they're focused and all of that stuff. And so it's like one of the things whenever you look at hardware, whenever you go online and you see like 6-port, 8-port, 10-port, when you see like TV with 3 HDMI, 4 HDMI, 5 HDMI, you run out. It might seem silly, like 6 HDMI inputs. Like, oh yeah, we got a switcher full. Like we obviously we can unplug the switch and the Xbox and plug something else in, but it's nice to be able to press buttons and not like get down on the carpet and have wires all over the place. It's nice to just lock everything in and then be able to flip switches, push buttons. So it's not necessarily a financial worry of ours. We have money saved that we can spend. It's just putting that one off for the podcast to like look a little better, because that wouldn't increase viewership. That would just be neat to look at. And it's like, is that a $multi-thousand neat to look at requirement? But I would love it. I mean, as someone who's done a lot of theater and loves theatrical events and live events, dressing up those screens in the back. Having Isla, while everybody's getting ready to talk about something, whether it's like spoiler mode or, any of the shows, can just be like, there we go. Windows also does something weird with like the zoom in on a laptop. And so we can't just full screen images and video anymore. We now have to do a slideshow and then pause the slideshow because we have this dinky laptop that operates the stuff back there, like the cheapest one we could find. So might be something that we get to eventually, but apologies for not. Long reply on that one. Sean Mahoney, last couple of cups. I almost said the past couple of pups. You've talked about interviews and said that they don't perform well. Obviously, this is referring to views and not patrons and fans. Easy Allies doesn't seem to be a company that is chasing views. Every company producing content for YouTube is chasing views for sure. It might not be as important to some people. We are certainly chasing views. Not voraciously, but we are. I almost think that you're under more pressure to appease patrons, but also please yourselves as creators! ! With that said, what would you say has been EZA's most successful video or video series? That would be reviews and reactions are the two things we can generally count on to do well. Ben last minute said, hey, let me just do that Pokemon video was good. I can do reactions before Isla's stream. Jumped on, talked about Pokemon, enjoyed himself. Almost 10,000 views. Whereas like I was lucky if any episode of Mindful Games got 10,000 views. So yeah, reactions and reviews will always be our bread and butter. Did it get the most views? Did it represent the company at its best? Yes. I think reviews and reactions are very much, we don't have to fake it. That's very much us and our passions on display. And the fact that it earns at the same time is a win-win. That's what you want for everything. Did it bring the most patrons? Spoiler mode brings the most patrons on average. Did it please the most people? Hard to tell. There are lots of metrics out there, but that's one that we don't worry about too much. You can say the podcast, but it feels too easy. It's not the podcast at all. It's not, no. The podcasts, no. Well, one of the reasons is this podcast is split all over the place. It's on Rooster Teeth now. Some allies get it 2 days early. It's on Patreon. It's on YouTube. It's on, your audio downloads on Megaphone, which, distributes it to all these different audio platforms. And so if there was only one place to get the podcast, it would be collecting all of those viewers in one place. But it's hard to look at one place the podcast is posted and determine the success of the podcast. Cool. You can say the podcast that feels too easy, maybe references a specific episode or segment. Nay. Those are the answers. Alec Church, I'm sorry to add the stressor to you so far, but I just had the thought that the podcast episode 300 is rapidly approaching. Oh, yes, it is. The last one is episode 280. 20 weeks away. And I think it might occur on the first or second week of the new year. Depends on the holiday schedules. But it's not too early to start writing your musical number. That is all. Gotcha. Spoilers. In case people know if you've watched the podcast in the past. Something special happens, I guess, on 300. I guess maybe I could think about it. I would start writing it now, but what do the next 20 weeks look like? What is that? 4 or 20? 5 months? Yeah. Drew Obo, longtime supporter and quote-unquote watcher of content. The Watcher. I think one of the first videos that I remember your voice was on was the Assassin's Creed 2 review. Nice. Anyway, it's crazy that it's been 12 years. Had to take a few seconds to calculate. Keep doing what you do. 2 things that I had in mind and I thought I would share. 1, would it be a good idea to do an appreciation stream or video or something else for each ally to show them each love from the community and other allies? Sure, that is kind of the community showcase. Every month, we have an ally on there, and there's definitely a lot of like, hey, person in the chair, I've been playing that game you like. And they, will make videos with music that they like or show pictures. So we do kind of already do that, but that's a fun idea. For the podcast, number 2, I used to like Ben Omar playing games in the background TV in the game trailers days, or even some gameplay of the video game being talked about was great. It would give us some context of what the game looks and plays like. So we just talked about the TVs in the back. What you're referencing is GT Live. That's our live show that we used to do that we have not done a variant because of COVID and because I had a much different job when I was a game trailer, so I could be much more focused. I did do Cup of Jones. I didn't moderate the podcast when I was at GT at that time. GT Live was like the thing I did during the week. It was the thing that one of the big things that I prepped for. So I was sending emails to people and getting guests and figuring out the games, getting codes, all of that stuff. Don't necessarily have time to do that now. I would love to bring back GT Live. Easy Live. It would be fun. Live is easy would be the name of the show. Probably not. Curtis Green, been listening for a long time, Patreon for a while. Longtime supporter and watcher of content, Druobo. Thank you for being a longtime supporter. Thank you for watching my content since back in the Assassin's Creed 2 days. Assassin's Creed 1, I remember because I was wasted. The most intoxicated I have ever been in my entire life by a country mile. Like this, I've never blacked out. I've never woken up after imbibing alcohol and been like, what happened? Like that's terrifying to me, that prospect. I don't like the idea of doing something and not knowing that I did it. Whenever horror films deal with that, I was like, I did what? That's like, I don't like that. But I remember being in the Hofbrauhaus in Germany and coming back. I like to think I had a beer in my hand, but I probably didn't. And like wandering back to the table and going by a kiosk, an internet kiosk on the wall, like an ATM. And I had coins, and I put coins in and went to GameTrailers.com and watched Daniel Kaiser's Assassin's Creed 1 review. I was like, cool. I probably couldn't listen to it. Or maybe I just checked the website. But I remember Assassin's Creed, that was the week. 2002, that was the week. No, I got married in 07. That was 2007. 2002 is when we started Game Trailers. And other allies have been there too. Yeah, I was, I drank a lot. You know those tall pitchers? It was like a liter of beer. I drank 2.5 of those. Because Amanda, we all ordered another one, and I drank it. And Amanda was like, I can only drink half of this. And I was like, give me that. Also, Daniel Kaiser hype. Kayser. Daniel Kaiser. If you want to look up Daniel Kaiser. GT Classic. Curtis Green. Been listening for a long time. Patreon for a while. Never posted before, so hello from Dan Unda. What's up, Curtis? I predominantly listen to your content. I was curious about the breakdown between listeners and viewers in terms of revenue. Would it be better for me to listen to the podcast, for example, via a video YouTube feed or a podcast app? Yeah, don't worry about it. That doesn't affect our bottom line as much as it would behoove us to change people's listening patterns or something. Get cozy with Easy Allies. Whatever your terms are to listen to our content, do it, enjoy it, love it, live it, learn it. I will say and apologize for not doing everything. We've had comments in the past about like making our reviews VO, maybe doing just a lot more things that we do in voiceover, or a lot of things that we do on video, making audio versions of that as well. More of that stuff might be coming because there are a lot of people who are like, I primarily listen to your stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I know you would have to go to YouTube to listen to. Traveling Snowman, I for one love the produced EZA content. In particular, I wonder what that is specifically referring to, because these questions are out of order a little bit. I for one love the produced EZA content. In particular, the shows that have been midweek, midday drops, including Mysterious Monsters, Achieve It Yourself, and many others. As someone who would love to see that weekly content continue, I wondered how statistically successful it has been, and if there was something the allies would be prioritizing. I love Trash Babies, but I wish it was more frequent. Yes, so we really want to try to have that content consistent so that there is always something Patreon exclusive, Patreon adjacent, Patreon early access happening that is outside of our normal produced stuff. I have ideas for a show I want to do before the end of the year that is relatively easy to do, that I can produce and just have all the allies in individually to do something fun. But we are negotiating, and it is kind of a moving target to figure out how long stuff should be exclusive to Patreon. Should it be exclusive entirely? Should it be exclusive for like a month and then it goes up public? What the sweet sauce is there between Patreon engagement and patron sentiment, just kind of what our patrons think of all of this content and how they could get it. But Mysterious Monsters is separate from that. Mysterious Monsters is not exclusive to Patreon. Mysterious Monsters is on the schedule. Mysterious Monsters will be beginning, the wheels of production are starting to spin on Mysterious Monsters. I just don't want to talk about or advertise it too much because we haven't done it in a while. I am not involved at all. I am not guesting on those episodes. I am not shooting those episodes. I'm not producing it. I'm not revamping the game. I'm not Huber. I'm not, it's like, so I don't want to be like, oh yeah, Mysterious Monsters. Oh, it's coming. Because who knows what could possibly happen. There are guests involved. There are a lot of plates that Isla has to spin to put that show together. So hopefully when an episode in the can, then I will be like, ta-da, it's coming. But we are that is definitely a goal. And we will, I guess you're just sharing a sentiment that you enjoy these things. So we will be producing as many of those things as possible and get them to you in an orderly fashion. Brian Park, I don't know if you shared your thoughts on this elsewhere, but I need to know, what is your hype level on Star Wars Visions? And can we get your quick impressions on the latest trailer? Yes, Star Wars Visions is an anime film or series. I think it's a series coming to Disney Plus. I'm very much enjoying What If right now. I saw the first couple episodes of What If. I am all about a crazy corner of the galaxy Star Wars thing. I'm all about weird Star Wars. I'm all about show me people I don't know, show me planets I don't know, show me stories I don't know. I really wanted to get into the High Republic, which is I know I'm getting off topic, but the High Republic, which they just released in comic and novel form, but haven't really had time to dive into that, and don't have a lot of friends that are doing that as well. So it'd be nice to have like someone that I can, follow through that content with and check in on. I will say the only bad thing, the animation style is awesome. I love this one guy draws the lightsaber. He like pulls it out of his thing as at the pace at which the lightsaber, or maybe it draws that way. Like maybe like the further it gets away from the holster, it pulls the lightsaber out. Who knows how that tech works? It was very, very samurai, very over the top action anime lightsaber combat. And that is my only criticism on the trailer. I haven't been thinking about it too much because I don't really want to spoil myself. I kind of want to go into each of those episodes and be like, what is happening right now? So I haven't really looked at art. I don't know who's directing or starring in any of those episodes or writing them. But I would like a little bit of smuggler action. I hope they're not all Jedi. I could see Japanese animation companies being like, come on. Come on. You get a phone call and they tell you to make a Star Wars thing. You're not going to put a couple lightsabers in it. Come on. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see anything. There's farmers. Give me a story about farmers on some planet that's Star Wars-esque. Like give me some kind of Studio Ghibli, small town vibes with kids and some magic thing that they discover. So I don't know. But I think that's going to be pretty great. It reminds me of the Animatrix. I am engaged in that as much as, well, more because I'm into Star Wars, but there was no scene in the Animatrix where I was like, this is odd. This doesn't meet my expectations. It's like, that's just going to be weird. And it's going to be awesome. I might wait until it's all done and then just binge the whole thing on a Saturday or something. But no, I'm excited about that. That looks very fun. A lot of neat stuff. A lot of neat, nerdy television happening. Yeah, TV's like winning. It was like Suicide Squad came and it was like, wait, what? A movie? What? Oh, I should watch this movie, I guess. Okay. Amanda's getting into The Nevers, which is on HBO. And we almost watched an episode of that the other night. But lots going on. Asbo Zapruder with our final question. Yeah, wow, I just heard. I hope they can clear it up in no time. But what would Easy Allies be willing to do to prove themselves worthy of our love? Swim oceans? Move mountains? Feel fire? Or drink poison? What? Drink poison? What is that's a threat. Can you say that on Patreon? Drink poison. P.S. Could I get a quick plug for an up-and-coming streamer named Kyle who'll be streaming 12 hours of Tetris this Saturday to raise money for Girls Who Code? This Saturday, Kyle Bossman, you know, the guy I streamed Avengers with last week. He's going to be raising money on Saturday. What time Saturday? I don't know. Check your local listings. Drink poison? Look, I wake up every morning wondering if I'm worthy of your love. I'll do anything to be worthy of your love. All of you patrons know that. I would crawl belly deep through hell to be worthy of your love. You are queen to me, not wife. You know this. Drinking poison, though, I don't know. Between those two things, though, feel fire, I guess. Is feel fire the opposite of touch water? If you feel fire, should you then after touch water? That's what I would do. Because feel fire is not like, you just feel. It doesn't indicate how long I have to do it. Moving a mountain seems very difficult. Swimming an ocean? Suicide. Drinking poison? Doesn't work out well for most people in literature that I've read who do that. Feeling fire, though, just like, I felt fire. Fire's nice. Doesn't say anything about being burnt. Just feel fire. Lots of takeaways. I wrote the takeaway of oh, wait. What? What happened to that comment? Somebody said we should play Sports Friends as our... Am I going to have to go to Patreon to find that? Somebody said we should play Sports Friends for a tournament. And I wrote it in takeaways, but the question's not there. Hold on. This is madness. No, that's today's Cup of Jones. Although, I got to be honest, I would have expected to see a Brandon K. Gann comment on there, but I don't know. When does he do that? When does he leave the comment? To get in there first. Parasite Paladin, you mentioned getting steamrolled during Easy Live and Chillin' during a Guilty Gear tournament. As somebody mentioned a suggestion for the marathon stream, I have a suggestion for a tournament that should level the playing field, and that is the lovely Sports Friends. Even if you don't have space to play Joust, I hope you do. The other games, Barabari Ball and Pole Riders, are a very fun time. It would be a grand old time. There you go. Fun. Feel fire. Okay, let's do a weird editorial. Ready? A smooth editorial. Just sip some coffee. For today's editorial, we will be discussing, and live, I have it plugged in right now, Galaxy of Heroes, baby. Yeah! Yeah! Galaxy of Heroes, yeah! Galaxy of Heroes, if you don't know, as many people just know, somebody spam called me right as it. Galaxy of Heroes, as you don't know, is a Star Wars game that I play every single day of my life. I found out about Galaxy of Heroes when I went to a preview event for Star Wars Battlefront 1, the first of the reboots of Star Wars Battlefront, and they were like, oh, hey, look at this is Galaxy of Heroes. Specifically, I'm bringing Galaxy of Heroes to Cup of Jones today, and I appreciate you listening to Cup of Jones if you're bailing right now. I'm bringing this right now because there was an exodus in the Easy Allies Galaxy of Heroes guild. Now, I'm sure, as much as all of you are invested, Cup of Jones listeners, in Easy Allies, I'm sure that you are also invested in the various video game guilds that Easy Allies is in. I have failed miserably in the tenure of Game Trailers and Easy Allies in maintaining some kind of social guild in gaming around any particular game. Huber created one for Marvel Strike Force that I joined for a little bit. I think that was handed off to more capable hands. I talked about playing Dreams a bunch. It would have been nice to create, like a Dreams festivals or something. I have not been investing as much time in that as I had expected. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a huge one. I created a posse called Easy Allies, and I have not gone back. What personal information is going to leak now? There's no personal information. Some people might call me or text me or something. I'll have to swipe that away. Maybe should have turned off notifications before I did this. But so Galaxy of Heroes is really the only time I've maintained a guild called Easy Allies since I started playing this game. And here's how guilds work. So I'm not going to go through and do a bunch of crazy things in here, but this is our guild. It's Easy Allies Guild. We currently have 30. Ooh, we lost 2 more people. With 30 out of 50. So we could have 20 more people in the guild. And that was up to like mid 40s as of a couple weeks ago. And then here's guild events that you could go to and you do stuff. And so we would all participate as a guild. Events are totally separate from these guys. So these are all the, we're doing here. Let's get into here. Just shout out. Again, here are all your warriors doing the work. There's me. Haven't put any time in yet. So let's kick some Sith butt here. And yeah, that's good. Because I'm going to put Luke in there because he's not a Jedi. Yet. That version, Empire Strikes Back Luke, not a Jedi, which I love. Isn't that great? He's got the lightsaber, but he's not a Jedi. So if you have characters that like, well, any Jedi in your party get blah, 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 blah. Doesn't work. All right. Anybody? KOTOR 2? Anybody? It's the end of KOTOR 2. There she is, Darth Traya. Spoilers. Darth Traya's evil. Spoilers. Darth Traya joins your team. Anybody hear that? You get an audio on that? So while we're fighting Darth Traya, a bunch of people left my guild, and so I'm bringing this out to let people know, if you want to join the Easy Allies Guild, there's never been a better time. Easy Allies, Galaxy of Heroes is a thing called Territory Wars. So look at this. So the health up top, that 55%, that's shared by the whole guild. We are all fighting this. I'm feeling quite confident about titling this episode The Cup of Brandon. Honored. See, she's got the lightsabers. Once you take out all the lightsabers, granted, I'm just auto-battling this, so my guild is very frustrated at watching me auto-battle this. There is a thing once or twice a month called Territory Wars. It's where you fight other guilds. And you need at least a 25-member participation trophy, essentially. 25 people need to sign up in your guild for Territory Wars for the thing even to happen. And actually, I will... Boom, kill that, and then bring this in. So this is actually a while ago, so the game has changed visually during that time. But this is basically how Territory Wars works. So you see all these little panels. So we got to get past these panels and wipe them all out on the other team. So I clicked on the bottom panel, and these are all the teams that our opponent has put on that panel. So I'm going to pick which opponent. These are actually some pretty easy teams. I don't know how easy these were at the time because my characters have grown in strength since then. And so my attempt is over. I did 600,000 damage in my fight against Darth Traya there. Nice. So I'm just picking who I'm going to be fighting here. The issue is we need a minimum of 25 people to sign up for Territory Wars. It doesn't matter if we win Territory Wars or not. We still get good stuff out of just participating in Territory Wars. So it's a bummer when people don't participate in Territory Wars. When we had 44 people in the guild, we could not hit that 25 minimum 25 member limit. So again, this screen has totally changed. So again, I'm just picking like who am I gonna fight with them? Oh, I'll pick my Sith team, which is my Sith team is so much better than that. Who am I gonna pick? My Rebels? You can name the teams now, which is fun. Kylo Ren isn't Sith, but whatever. Let's see how we do. I'm probably gonna get warped by these. Yeah, this is not gonna end well for me. And so it was a bummer that we had guildies that were very dedicated, that were very nice, but were so casual, they literally missed like the login for this Territory Wars thing. So we kept yelling in chat. We're like, chat's this lower left there, the little speech bubble. We're like screaming in chat, like, it doesn't matter if we lose. Well, I'm getting annihilated. Like, doesn't matter if we lose. Just sign up, please. Because if we sign up and lose, we still get like a lot of stuff, a lot of credits, a lot of resources that we are not using. That we're not getting access to. And we missed 2 Territory Wars in a row. And after we lost the last Territory War, a bunch of people from our guild were like, I need a guild that at least does this. It like doesn't matter if we do them and win them. I need a guild that just at least participate. And so I'm sorry. Like one comment broke my heart that was like, I love Easy Allies so much. And I will continue to watch your content, but I gotta be in a better guild. So I just want to throw this out there. I will be doing a public service announcement on Twitter as well. But just want to do this to bring some people back back into the guild. If you are interested, again, you can DM me on Twitter, or you can just send me a friend invite in the game, or you can just send an invite to the guild. Easy Allies, all one word. If you would like to be in the guild, because it'd be fun. And again, I'm not just like selfishly like I need these rewards. I have fun with this game no matter what. But as you can see, I have 30 really dedicated members of our guild that have made this game really fun for me over the years, and I would like to do them a solid and get some people back in the guild that will at least check once a day and hit a button. You know what I mean? Like, you log in, you check chat. Oh, the territory wars. Okay, boop. And then you don't even have to, like, put your party out or something. You know, it's like, it's a very basic commitment level. Also, if you join Galaxy of Heroes and we friend up, then you can use one of my characters for any of the fights that you're doing. So you can just bring in some big crazy character that I've leveled up. You can bring in gear level 13 Han Solo to just pew pew pew. And so shout out to the guild. Shout out to my Easy Allies Galaxy of Heroes guild. And apologies that I have not been more vocal and put in more efforts to bring people. In case you're curious, that screen where you were looking at all of the squads, this is what it looks like now. And these are all my squads. Got my bounty hunters, got my rebels, got my clone troopers, got my empire, Jedi masters. So here's my Sith now. Here's my Sith team. See, I got Darth Nihilus and Darth Sion on the team now. So doing pretty good. And Count Dooku, look, they made the... I'll put Count Dooku back in there later. But they made all the characters look realistic. So, like, look at Dooku now. He looks like Christopher Lee. It's creepy. I'm almost done leveling him up to gear level 13. Look, he looks like Christopher Lee. It's weird. It's weird. But, like, his icon doesn't? Like, look at the icon. That's, like, clearly, like, Clone Wars Dooku. But then you go in and it's Christopher Lee. Weird. So, yeah, you won't hear me talking about Galaxy of Heroes for a long time. I think I've brought up Galaxy of Heroes twice in a Cup of Jones editorial. But I wanted to bring it up this time just because... I love this guild. And there was just a lot of sentiment where people are like, yeah, I understand why those people left, but I don't know why so many members of our guild, and it feels bad to like bump people from a casual guild, but it's like, this is literally the lowest bar. We just need you to sign up for this stuff. Please, please, please. So shout out for those that have signed up. Shout out for those people that still play Galaxy of Heroes every day with me. Shout out for people who watch Cup of Jones, who have listened to this editorial, not being interested at all in Star Wars or mobile games or Galaxy of Heroes. Shout out to you. So yeah, if you're interested, again, DM me on Twitter, or it's just nice to know if you're going to be accepting an invite. But if you just want to come in and sign up for the guild and join territory wars when they happen and be involved, then that would be wonderful. But if not, go on and keep playing what you're going to play. Lots of good games coming out this month. Lots of good games coming out for the rest of the year. Gamescom this week, so more games are being announced. We will see. Cheers, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Thank you again for listening to me talk about all that stuff. Where's my outro? There it is. Cheers. Love you.